What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and for today I wanted to share some gameplay with you guys using my Ultron in his Mark 1 uniform, because why not? I have all the uniforms, might as well use them all. So this time around we're gonna use him in the Mark 1 uniform, the crippled uniform. I think it looks really funny when he tries to run. That's one of my favorite things about the uniform, is that the animation for him running is hilarious. So we're gonna take him in and we're gonna try to solo a rumble, guys. It's a rumble that I used to use Ultron as the lead with Red Skull and Kingpin, and because of all these summons that were on the map, it was able to work out pretty well for me because I could keep the enemies in check. However, now that Ultron is a decent character, I wanted to attempt it with Ultron by himself. I got pretty close today. It wasn't very pretty, but I still wanted to share that with you guys in case any of you guys get to this floor and you end up getting stuck. Ultron may be able to pull it off for you. You don't necessarily need to use him in this uniform. He's great even with the base kit, but this uniform, as you guys can see, apart from just getting the all attack and all defense increased by 10%, when he's up against combat types, he gets 10% increase to his attack and he takes 10% less damage. And in this stage right here, there's, I believe, 3 or 4 combat types, so that's why I'm using this uniform today. So just keep that in mind. The uniforms are for gold, so you might as well pick them all up. There's no real downside to that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats, guys, and then we can have some fun with Ultron. Guys, I can't believe the day has come that I actually am able to say that. Fun with Ultron. He's not as good as he should be, not as good as I'd want him to be, but he's good enough to get the job done. And as for right now, that's all I can ask for. That's better than what he was before. So yeah. As you guys can see, 109 for attack speed, 47% for critical rate, 166 for crit damage, 50% for ignore defense, and 50% for reduced cooldown duration. And I would say try and make sure you get at least reduced cooldown duration maxed out on Ultron so you can keep the clones up as much as possible. That is going to be a good place to start when you're building him. Try to get ignore defense maxed out as well because his DPS is not the greatest, but I would say prioritize skill cooldown over all else. All right, now as for the gears, everything's at 20, and the last one right here is roll for crit damage, and that's because I have Hawk's Eye as my ISO set, but I will be changing this eventually to Power Fang Hulk. But I'm probably going to aim for Overdrive, but Overdrive is really hard to roll for, so if I get Power Fang Hulk first, I'll just leave it. But ideally, you want Overdrive. And when I do get one of those 2 ISO sets, this will be changed to skill cooldown to make sure that I still have skill cooldown maxed out. As for the skill rotation for my Ultron, I always open with the 5 skill because it has that iframe and it gives me the summons. And as you guys can see right here, they don't have that much like offense or defense stats, only 40%. So immediately after putting them up, I would use the 4 skill because I give them a guard. The guard gets applied to the clones or summons or whatever, and on top of that they get an increase to their attack and defense stats as well. So you always want to use this right after you bring up the clones to keep them alive for longer, and that way they can do more damage. After that, I'll generally just go with 3, 2, and 1. The priority is always going to be to use 5 and 4 off cooldown, and you can get the job done with Ultron. As for his Obelisk, this is what it looks like for right now. The 4 seconds of invincibility is the main reason why this is here, so just keep that in mind. You don't want to give him a damage proc because none of his skills individually deal that much damage. I would say prioritize his survivability if at all possible. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into Shadowland and let's pull off a solo with Ultron, baby. Yeah, against the trash Rumble. Let's go ahead and grab Ultron and let's do it. All right, let's see how annoying these guys are with the fear. Well, the bleed doesn't do too much for you guys. I'm bleed proof, so that's great. But Carnage is a real annoyance in this stage, so keeping that bastard in check is always a fun time. Crossbones, know your place. Know your place. No, Doc Ock. Relax. Listen here, Lash. Listen here. You're still trash. You are still garbage. Okay? No matter what language it is, you're still garbage. Okay? Garbage. Trash. I don't know how many other times I gotta say it. Hey, relax. You are still. Oh, I didn't even use the 4. What am I doing? Garbage. Garbage. Okay, well, there you guys have it, man. Ultron solo, a minute 18. It looked pretty easy. This one was pretty easy. So I gotta say, Ultron, guys. Ultron. This guy's a whole new machine. Well, maybe not a whole new machine, because look at him, guys. He's falling to bits. Still needs a bit more to be a top tier character, but for now, he's playable. And as you guys can see, there's stuff he can do. And this is not going to be the last Ultron video, I can guarantee it. But that's it for this one. Like always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace and love. And I'm gone. It's Ultron, baby. Yeah.